Good morning. Um, Firstly, thank you for having me here. I think this is a great platform put together for Traffic Safety Week, for traffic discipline. Uh, like Dr. Gedam said and as Mr. Barambe said, it's not only for 1 week. This is a week where everyone comes together to sort of put their knowledge and brainstorm over how proceedings can happen through the rest of the year, where people can actually follow rules and become more disciplined. The ideas which Mr. Barambe just stated were fantastic, and I hope it actually happens. I just downloaded the app. Um, I can only speak from my experience. I drive a lot in this city, and during the day I get angry a lot because there is no civic sense when it comes to driving. People are impatient, and I don't know where everyone's in a hurry to go. If you stop and just wait for even 5 seconds and let another person pass, or have that civic sense, I think traffic will be far better. But everyone seems to be in a hurry to get somewhere. I don't know where. Someone's going in a hurry. Um, Secondly, yes, we have rules, sir. But unfortunately, everyone feels they can get away. So not many people follow those rules. The minute those rules are enforced and punishment is enforced, I think people will fear those rules and obey those rules. Uh, like I said, I drive a lot. In the nights, I prefer driving because there's less traffic. Now that you've given us an opportunity to take pictures, you will have a lot of pictures from me, definitely, pointing out, because examples again from my experience, there are times when I stop at a red light and I see these rickshaw drivers going halfway into the signal, onto the junction, and waiting over there. How do you expect traffic to cross if they are way ahead of the zebra crossing? That is civic sense, just simple stuff like that. There's a 2-lane road, but 4 lanes have been formed, and they want to cut in. Simple civic sense. Where is everyone in a hurry to go to? What do they want to achieve? If you wait for even 3 minutes, you will get to where you're going and more safely. So like I said, if all these rules can be enforced and punishment is stricter, people will follow. There are times when even I've broken the rules because I thought, okay, I can get away. I'm driving in the city, I'm driving at 20 kilometers an hour. Why do I need to wear a seat belt? We all think that. But no, I've been caught and I've been fined. And ever since then, I've gotten into my car and thinking, yes, people are watching me also. And if I need to set an example, sometimes I get on my bike and I think, should I wear my helmet because I'm just going 2 minutes away? I think, no, let me not wear the helmet. And I've been caught and I've been fined, even though I'm a celebrity. I have been fined, and the police officers come and says, "Sir, aap sir?" And I say, okay, I'll pay the fine. But that's made me also realize that, I am somebody people actually look up to and follow me. So I follow the rules now too, and it's important that everybody needs to follow these rules. Whoever you are, even if you're traveling for 2 minutes to some place, anything can happen. Wear a helmet, wear your seat belts, follow all the rules. So great initiative, and I hope everything is this whole digitization and cashless is great, because now you just can't get away with paying 100 rupees to a police officer. It will be fantastic if everybody follows the rules, and good luck. I hope I can drive without getting angry from here on. Thank you so much.
Pooja, over
Me?
to you.
All right. Okay. Firstly, hello everybody, and thank you for being here, because I think the media plays an extremely important role in sending out the message to the public. We can sit and brainstorm for all we want, but until you guys get the message out there, nothing will really change. Mr. Praveen had said that, unfortunately, the majority of accidents that do occur are avoidable. Now, this is something major for us to look at, because when you use the word avoidable, that means if measures are put in place, things can change. That's extremely important to note. We all know the rules, but we also know that people break the rules. People do break the rules. So how do we go about ensuring people don't break the rules? Firstly, let them know what the rules are. Secondly, as Dino said, put such strong measures and punishments in place that people are scared to break the rules and the laws. And most importantly, we should also ensure that the person who is confronting the errant person isn't corruptible, that with 100 rupees, the person gets away with that particular crime. That's equally important. It works both ends of the spectrum. And I think that's something that also needs to be taken note of. When people feel they can get away with something, they will. And coming from 20 years ago, from personal experience, I can say that drunk driving really wasn't a very big deal back then. Everybody used to drink and drive. And it was just normal for everybody to drink and drive. Recently, we've had celebrity cases where things have been, put out there by the media, storms have been generated, and rightfully so, and a lot of awareness has been brought about on drinking and driving. The fines that have been put in place have deterred people. The press outrage, the public outrage has deterred people. I see at the end of the day that people today don't drink and drive. There are these wonderful groups like Party Hard Drivers and Aapka Driver, etc., which are doing fantastically because people are becoming more and more responsible, saying, even if my driver can't make it, I'm going to hire another driver. Or they have a designated driver amongst themselves in friends groups who does not drink that particular day and becomes the designated driver. And these measures have been put in place, A, because of awareness, B, because of strict policing on the same measures. I think it's extremely important for us as people and a society to actually rally together when wonderful apps like this have been put out there, apps that empower us to make that change. There's only so much a policeman can do. There's so much we as people can do. You, me, all of us sitting here, you see an offense, report it. It takes 2 minutes to pull out your camera, to record something and send it out there so they can do their job more effectively. You can be part of the process in every possible way. Each one of us can be part of that process. I think this cashless system, electronic surveillance systems, making people accountable for their actions and inactions, I think it's a wonderful way to start a new era, I would say. Let's all join hands. Let's all do this together because, as Praveen said in the very beginning, this is avoidable, and we can actually join hands and make sure that road safety becomes something of great importance to all of us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Divakar, I have a question, which is when you were speaking about giving licenses to college students in the colleges, how is that? Like, what is the criteria for ensuring that they should get that license, that they know how to drive? So, I mean, to just give a license to a kid who may not know how to drive, how do you know they even know how to drive? How do you implement that procedure?
So there are 2 steps of getting licenses: learning license and driving license, driving or a permanent license. So the first somebody applies for learning license, he has to give exam, and the rules mandate that he has to score minimum 60% in that exam. Our experience shows that up to 25 to 30% they fail in their first attempt. So it's not that somebody walks in and he gets the license so easily. He has to give that exam. It's now it's taken on computers, and randomly selected questions are thrown onto the screen which he has to answer. So everybody has to prepare something before he appears for learning license. As far as permanent license is concerned, the driving license, actual driving skills are tested on the track, and there also the passing percentage is around 70%. So he has to come afterwards, after a gap of say 1 month or so, one who is failing in that exam. And I like add one more point here. In Pune city, we have started this driving skill is tested by computer. It's not simulator. The actual the applicant actually drives on the track, and there are cameras installed who are they feed their video footage into the relevant software, and the software decides whether he is fit enough to drive or not. And we are planning to have this system at all 50 offices in Maharashtra, including 4 offices in Mumbai.
Right. My point was not about the offices or the procedure. Like when you say colleges, we're going to go give licenses in colleges.
They will also have to appear exam. For exam, we will be taking their exam in the colleges.
Yeah, because the idea was we're going to get rid of the dalals in the middle.
Yeah.
So technically, to go to a learning school, you'll have to go to a Tejani Motor School or whatever. And they're the ones who facilitate the process of filling in the forms and filling in everything and helping you anyway. Yeah. So then how is it so simple that you escape the entire process by just getting a license in college. I'm not clear on that.
See, there are two issues. Going to colleges or any other place for that matter. In rural districts, we go to taluka places. We have now a software which gives appointment like you do in case of getting visa or passport. So the time slots are fixed, the person who is coming is fixed, the time is communicated to him on his mobile. So he comes on a fixed place at a fixed time. So and the issue is whether his knowledge is tested or not, that I was talking about. I was initially thinking you are asking about whether he is really fit enough to drive. That part we are going to check by taking his examination or test. And as far as this dalal or touts they are concerned, we want to have completely digital interface and no human interface. The process has already started, but you can understand the systems are so complicated. We have the database of around 3 crore drivers and 3 crore vehicles. We have to digitize it, scan it, and integrate it. But it has already started in 4 or 5 districts.
सवाल है, आपने सेफ्टी की बात की, जो लॉन्ग रूट होता है वहाँ पे सीसीटीवी नहीं है, और जो आपने कहा कि अगर डबल पार्किंग है तो यहाँ पे पार्किंग की फैसिलिटीज़ नहीं है. अगर फ़ोटोज़ क्लिक करके हम भेज भी रहे हैं, आप उन्हें पनिश कर रहे हो, बट वहाँ पे पार्किंग एरियाज़ नहीं दिए हुए. पार्किंग एरियाज़ रहेंगे तो ये प्रॉब्लम्स नहीं होंगी, ट्रैफिक्स नहीं होंगे. सड़कों की बात करें तो हर जगह गड्ढे मिलते हैं, तो क्या कहेंगे इस पर? आप दोनों से जानना चाहेंगे हम.
I am Joint Commissioner of Police Traffic for Mumbai City, so I'll confine myself to Mumbai City. Firstly, there are no long stretches of road जहाँ पर CCTV नहीं है. The whole Mumbai city is covered by more than 4,700 cameras. Secondly, about the parking issue, yes, there are parking issues. But there are certain stretches on the roads जहाँ पर parking is not allowed. There are no parking signages. जहाँ पर parking करने से it is going to cause commotion. So those are prohibited areas जहाँ पर parking नहीं होनी चाहिए. But on-street parking is norm of life. अभी since we don't have off-street parking, so on-street parking ही होती है. But then there has to be some sense how to park a vehicle. How to, whether to go perpendicular or parallel park. Perpendicular parking is a menace in the city. They have to go parallel along the footpath. That has to be parked properly. In the offset, it should not cause obstruction to the main carriageway. So that's how that would be defined, and especially not at the corners, not at places where defined to be no parking. So if they are parked there, then they are obviously liable to be towed away.
जी मिलिंद जी, मेरा आपसे सवाल है. अभी पूजा जी ने हमें थैंक्स किया मीडिया को कि हम आते हैं, कवर करते हैं और लोगों तक आपकी बात पहुंचाते हैं. कल एक इवेंट हुआ था जिसमें शाहरुख खान और पूनम महाजन दोनों आए थे. उनकी सिक्योरिटी के सारे इंतजाम थे, पुलिस वहाँ पे थी, लेकिन वहीं पे मीडिया पर्सन्स को धक्का मारा गया, उनके कैमरास टूटे, रिपोर्टर्स, कैमरामैन, हर किसी को चोट आई. जो बैरिकेड्स लगे थे वो भी टूटे, लेकिन हमारी सेफ्टी का कोई इंतज़ाम नहीं. अगर सेलिब्रिटी की सिक्योरिटी देखते तो हमारी भी सिक्योरिटी होनी चाहिए, बिकॉज हम ही मैसेज पहुंचाते हैं. तो ये कब तक होगा? हम ऐसे ही धक्के खाते रहेंगे?
I guess I'll certainly take your point and communicate to the right authority who is dealing with that.
Thank you. Do we have any other questions?
मिलिंद सर, आपसे सवाल है मेरा. आपने जो भी बात की, कल जो शाहरुख का इवेंट हुआ था उसमें सिर्फ मीडिया को परेशानी हुई इसकी बात नहीं है. बेसिकली वहाँ पर फ्लाईओवर के ऊपर इवेंट था, वो वहाँ पे इनॉग्रेशन था, और जो नो पार्किंग एरिया था फ्लाईओवर के ऊपर कार्स पार्क की गई थी और पूरा रोड जाम हो गया था. ट्रैफिक पुलिस वहाँ पर थी, पुलिस वहाँ पे थी, गार्ड्स थे, लेकिन किसी ने कंट्रोल नहीं किया. मतलब बहुत सारी पब्लिक थी. आई डोंट नो कि मे बी 200-300 500 पीपल वर देयर. तो इस तरह से अगर सेलिब्रिटी होते हैं या फिर कोई कल्चरल कुछ ऐसा इवेंट होता है तो ट्रैफिक पुलिस नहीं कर पाती उन्हें कंट्रोल, तो उसके लिए क्या आप करेंगे?
It's a joint effort with the police station staff and the traffic staff. क्योंकि traffic strength is very minimal, having 3,000 people across the city, that too in shift, so not more than 1,000 people are available for the whole city. So traffic constables managing the crowd is quite a challenging situation. Here, most of that work is taken over by the police station guys. But if there are any shortcomings in that event, we'll certainly look into that. Thank you.
Thank you.
And one more thing, what is the liaison between the BMC, for example, the Planning Commission, and the traffic police? Is there a good network between these departments? Because, say, for example, in Juhu right now, there are these 4 5-star hotels coming up in that horizon where Novotel, etc. I think there are 3 big hotels coming up there. Now, there'll be huge jams, huge parking issues. The roads are small. As it is, it's hard to navigate. Now, when these 3 big ones come up with shopping malls, etc., do you insist that there have to be parking in measure? Because, say, for example, at Sea Princess, there's a nightclub called Trilogy. It's run by my cousins. They own it. And the biggest issue is that there's no parking. And what happens is, as a result of that, who gets inconvenienced? The customer, the consumers get inconvenienced because it's not their fault there's no parking. It's not Trilogy's fault that there's no parking. But there should have been facilities made available by the necessary departments to ensure that whenever there's a 5-star hotel or shopping mall, that there are adequate parking facilities in place. Because one should not exist without the other. So is there a good tandem between developers
Actually,
and police?
this planning authority is mainly with the MCGM, and certain projects are taken over by MMRDA. MCGM works on the simple principle of DC rules, the development control rules. Now, what Sea Princess you're talking of is a very old establishment, and the DC rules existing at that time, parkings are provided as per vehicle availability at that time. Now, too much of water has flown over, and almost every person coming to Triology and Sea Princess is owning a car. Obviously, those many car parks are definitely not available there. And that's where we are really looking up to this metro and other public transport systems, wherein we could facilitate movement of even the middle class and the upper middle class to use these public transports and reduce the number of vehicles on the street. So I guess with coming times, coming times means, to be precise, 3 to 4 years down the line, when the metros are functional, hundreds of kilometers, 100 plus kilometers, we can definitely see a certain change, a certain shift from car users to the public transport users. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Do we have